We're still forging ahead on the mission to attain 100% Patreon support, so as to protect the channel from demonetization or copyright strikes, etc. We need to garner over 600 patrons to make it happen. Right now, as of writing, we're at 513 beautiful souls. Please consider pledging if you love the channel and this series, and hopefully see you over there, link below the video. I liked that little look downwards. He knows he's not being truthful and likely is annoyed by it, but at the same time, he gave them his word to let them leave. He's torn a little, I guess.
Oi.
At the same time, though, he's clearly made up his mind. They're going to get away and he's going to ensure no one stops them, including his men, of course. Smoker being a true badass here in this statement, but part of the win is also for the hype surrounding the notion that he's bringing reinforcements to this land from the Marines. At this point, it's basically a running gag or a ritual that must be sated, but Chopper, he just gets the same kind of win every video near enough and I can't help myself. It's a thing now. Sanji being cool and mysterious there, but most of all Chopper being adorable and helpful here. This is 100% the kind of thing Oda does that I adore, making his eyes look like a crab's. I mean, who else would think that up? Luffy totally freaking out over how awesome it is. Chopper, you're the single greatest thing to happen to this anime and my life in 2024. Not crabbing on the spot. Amazing out of nowhere bloody plot twist. Also though, this example of his ability is insane, being able to move things from such a long distance away from his body. Oh my god, amazingly quick thinking right there from Luffy. Goodness me, he shocked me there. Take your win, my guy. He's really very brave in moments like this. He cares more about the overall plan than he does anything, and right now that means getting her back home in time. Also worthwhile showing is that clearly none of them are happy about the notion of leaving him behind, but they do trust that he'll be okay if they do so. But you can see the struggle. Oi! Another thing I love is this. It's not always one person taking charge outside of Luffy. Sometimes it's Nami, sometimes it's Zoro or Sanji. Whenever the time calls, they step up like here. Just had to quickly drop one for Usopp saying that as they left. From now on, you have to protect me. This was a, quite frankly, beautiful speech here from Zoro, understanding the greater main mission right now, and what's important, and reminding her of that. Sanji doing much the same thing, basically reminding her that she started this battle long ago, but they're here now to help her complete the mission, and so they have to risk their lives in the process. Take another one here as well for the collective notion between them all that they are consenting to risk their lives for this role they're throwing themselves into selflessly. Makes me very proud of them. I thought this was a very poignant statement here from Luffy. She tries to help everyone she sees, no matter how weak she is, and he is right. Says so much about her, and it's all bloody good stuff too. I cannot freaking wait! I've been primed for this for like 20 plus episodes now. Let's do it! She's still in this anime. She continues to be an insanely unique character so far, especially with this happening. She's not even afraid of him either, likely thinking she stands a good chance against him. I enjoyed how they kept things largely silent here, just the wind blowing by. It really set up the fight. Already from the start of this fight, I'm left pondering how in the hell Luffy is going to be able to fight someone who can turn into sand. Doesn't stop it being enjoyable as anything though. A nice touch to the start of the battle is also the fact that Luffy is using his back catalogue of different moves during this battle. I mean, that's both impressive and quite scary because Luffy absolutely destroyed his body of sand and yet still, he simply reformed elsewhere. But it should be noted, he seemed worried at one point.
Copy?
Luffy being confused at what he was trying to say since he knocked his mouth during his sentence was great, but I found it interesting how a quirk of his is to get annoyed when mocked too. It happened so quick, but it's fantastic how Luffy notices quickly that the sand splits a rock that it hits in half, and so he quickly dodges out of the way. That was amazing as an added detail. The massive fallout from that attack! It's also interesting how villains aren't always getting stronger and stronger. Arlong was tough. Wapol on Drum Island wasn't too bad, but now Crocodile is by far the strongest foe. He makes a solid point there, and I dare say that's absolutely why he chose to live in this country now that I think about it. Luffy escaping his trap, but the main win is for, even though it didn't work, I believe him using a new move here. Another creative way again to use his abilities. Wow! Here's a classic example where One Piece leans heavily into its darker elements as Luffy is met with a horrible injury right here. Oh, I'm so glad that's a thing in the lore. Not only because it was funny to look at, but because it made the fight fairer for sure. I legit cannot believe that this is an attack that Luffy can perform. I wonder if he learnt that from maybe the already mentioned Wapol. I like how even before Nami said his name, you could see the look of concern in all of their faces at what Luffy was having to contend with.
Alabasta.
It's really a staple of Luffy that in moments such as this, he can act in very unpredictable ways, all because in this moment, he values that old man's life even above his own. That ending is getting max wins. The way it cut from Luffy yelling to utter silence was brutal and fantastic in equal amounts. Then you see him being held up, pierced through. Incredible moment.
Miro!
If something bad happens to him, this might end up being one of the saddest moments in One Piece for me, because I already felt a very strong and kindred attachment to this old man earlier.
Miro!
Oh no! He's crying and finally reaching water once again, likely thinking this may end up making the city a proper city again. Can you imagine the whirlwind of emotions, and yet we know what's coming? I swear to God I nearly jumped out of my seat when he grabbed his arm. Plus, he must have done it so hard in order to physically cause him pain right there. Oh my word, let's go! For me, the main thing is he's still alive, thankfully, which is obvious, but still good to see, it should go without saying. But also a key takeaway is how it's the first battle he's lost, really. It wounds my heart when things like this happen. That incredible resolve and positive thinking. Even when this sandstorm is the worst to hit them, he's still thinking it'll be okay. Yup, I've got to give him one more win for that. I mean, can you even imagine that willpower? He just got to water and it's going to be swept away and already he's refusing to back down. Come on. In fact, take another one here because I want to liken him to a character I said I wouldn't forget, that being Genzo. I said I'd mention him again and so here we are, both amazing guys. Zoro is awesome because even in a place like this and at a time like that, he still thinks about getting stronger. Reminds me a lot of Guts in that way from Berserk.
だから横に歩くのか。ちなみにその時後ろに飛び跳ねたやつもいるんだが、それがエビだ。
Back-to-back wins here. Firstly, Usopp telling hilarious lies about why Crab's legs look the way they do, and Chopper not only believes him, but is utterly hooked on the story. But also, I liked Lashes here copying Zoro and doing his own little workout routine.
エビはじゃあカニなのか。ああ、カニだ。
Ah, that little shocked sound from Chopper is like a love arrow directly through to my heart.
ゾロ、あんたそれ余計な体力使うだけじゃない。
Oh, hot damn! There's me thinking he's repping just his sword, as it's all he's got, and he's doing that? You absolute madman! I'm not deleting any wins either. I freaking love that.
あいつらは何かしてねえと気が紛れねえのさ。おめえはビビってんだ。ルフィが負けちまうんじゃねえかって。
Sanji sadly hitting the nail on the head here, and for me it plays into so many prior wins regarding how these characters are truly unique in every sense of the word in how they speak and act.
やめなさいよ、くだらない。
Nami laying down the law as she often does when the boys start potentially causing problems within the group. It's actually one of her best qualities now, I've noticed.
ルフィさんは負けない。だって約束したじゃない。あんたは反乱の心配してりゃいいの。
She even does it for Vivi after it's noted that she's clearly more worried than anyone else in spite of her words.
何そりゃ。名前よ、カニの。へえ。ハサミってお前。悪い。いや、悪くないです。へえ。
I swear sometimes I struggle with Chopper because I find near everything he does to be adorable. It's like I'm hyper focused on him. It's tough sometimes. How is it that we've been here and yet Oda is still able to gift us an entirely different looking pair of buildings to normal?
責任は俺が取ってやる。
スモーカー大佐はどこへ。
When you somehow think that Smoker isn't already a cool enough character and then you give him a sick looking bike to boot.
滅ぶにせよ生き残るにせよ、時代の節目にはこういう事態が必ず起こる。
Such a cool character! He knows full well what Luffy and the crew are attempting to do, and of course he's concerned with the wider ramifications too, which he mentioned inside the cell earlier.
そうだ、ハサミは踊り子が大好きだ。これでいいの？
2 wins, the first one should be obvious, the return of this clothing for Nami. But also, how she did so without hesitation just made me chuckle. Chopper brought it up and within half a second she's like, you rang? Never knew Chopper saying perfect power would make me laugh so much and get them a win. It's too long to risk showing, but huge credit to Usopp's voice actor for starting so full of energy that they're going to make it across and slowly losing confidence with barely a breath. Zoro is carrying Chopper! Firstly, it's nice that Chopper would think to do this, but secondly, it's good to see appreciation for an animal that did take them halfway across the country near enough, rather than he just disappears. Totally unexpected plot twist! I love that these little guys returned for this moment. Then they do the same thing for these guys that I just win them doing for pincers. How is it that this anime just gets better and better? I love that duck and now he's back! Obviously we knew it'd be okay, but it's still good to see it. You should know the drill by now. That's getting max wins. She's suddenly come back and is helping Luffy out of nowhere. Her interesting background only becomes more interesting. Just like with the Nami win, you already know what this one is for.
見つけたぞ。
Winning that because it's genuinely just such a cool use of her ability, I must admit.
あなたたちの大切なお姫様をこの国まで送り届けた勇敢なナイトです。
Even though it might seem mocking, you can tell that she meant what she said there, and it was actually a lovely compliment to Luffy, really.
お前になんか委ねておけるか。
They really have made great and extensive use of maps this arc, haven't they?
国王の身に何か起きたとしか考えられないならば、なおのこと我々はこの戦い負けてはならない。
You know, sometimes in anime, you're given a reason why someone fights and you're like, really? Eyebrow raising? One Piece is the opposite of that. He's got a very solid reason to be fighting this battle. Always such nice touches in this one too, like taking into account all of the civvies and having a quick scene telling them to flee for now.
戦いを嘆く者戦う者
Is it just me or did that not sound a heck of a lot like the narrator from Hunter x Hunter? Also take one here for everyone once again converging on this location. Everyone good, everyone bad. It's all coming to a head in a huge way, baby!
アルバーナで衝突する
So sick that was! Oh my goodness! You've got to be kidding me!
ビビ様と彼らは無事この国へ着いているようだが、急がねば間に合えばいいのだが。
I don't even care. That's such a great twist in the story and a great ending to the episode that it's getting another one.
クロコダイルのやつ、絶対許さねえ。
They really know what they're doing with this excellent piece of music, and it does nothing but hype the scene for me in the sense of making it feel so prominent and important.
ビビとかガラガラのおっさんをバカにしやがった。絶対許さねえ。
Amazing to hear that he doesn't even care what was done to him during and after the battle. He cares about the fact that he hurt and mocked Vivi and the old man.
アルバーナは近いぞ。隙を上げろ。
Two wins. Firstly, as you can imagine, I'm very impressed by that crowd at the end there and how the animators handled that task. But also I wanted to shout out how realistic it is to hype your men roughly 30 minutes from the battle. Obviously, you don't want to hype them 2 hours early or 2 minutes away. This is perfect. A really unique looking city right there. You heard the Nami win, and then the bad lady turned nice win, and now there's this one to consider.
数が増えてないかい ?6 人いる。リストから麦わらを外して残りは4人のはずだろう。
I'm very happy that this clever storytelling technique that Oda used here has been, forgive the repetition, used many times during this arc. It really is clever.
じゃあおめえ、どれがビビか当ててみなよ。
ねえ、あいつら全員同じマント。
That is also very clever, and something I hadn't considered them doing, knowing that a trap for Vivi was likely awaiting them here, or forget likely, most definitely.
やっちまいなミスター 4! 近づくな
Hot diggity dog! The action is already starting to heat up. Let's do this!
こいつら。
Awesome equally how Usopp attacked without hesitation, but how he also blocked it like that. Oh, I love a good map, and it's so clever how there are 5 entrances to the city. It also reminds me of Minas Tirith from The Lord of the Rings. There's something oddly comforting about watching the enemy playing catch up after losing the advantage very quickly, like I've been saying about Crocodile. Now they're also finding their plans failing.
そう、私こそがビビ王じゃ。
何言ってやが言ってるの私が真のビビだわよ。
Zoro trying his very best Vivi lady impression.
残念、外れ。
This setup for all of the coming battles between them, and all I can think is I feel sorry for whoever has to go up against Zoro and Sanji.
ありがとう。
Plot twist! Come on, man! I really thought she'd be among their group, and instead she's here outside the city. So smart!
あー、ゾロやっておしまい。
TV は黙ってろ。
Seeing how some of the teams are split already and knowing that Zoro is going to have to take on 2 of them by himself, I'm worried but also insanely hyped.
反乱はもう起こらねえぞ。
何を
That's a good solid team right there.
自分の砲弾をしっかり管理しろ。 すごい地鳴りですね。
I adore that realism, even if the ground might not shake, but it's the wording of people talking about the cannons and looking after their cannonballs and everything else that did it for me.
いいのよカルここにいなくても
Two wins again. Firstly, the scene just looks good, her standing before such an army in front of that beautiful city, but also how brave he is to stand at her side and refuse to leave it. Duck Usopp! Hell yes, exactly what I was talking about before. He's now giving simple orders right before they hit the city. I dare say Oda is a student of war to at least some small degree.
おい、今あの辺りに人影がなかったか。
It's so tense and so well done. It's incredible to me how Oda can create moments like this when my stomach is in knots because they're so close to revealing the truth. Such an awesome way to reveal how the enemy is inside the city whilst also explaining away how perfectly that shot was done right where she was. It's almost physically painful to watch how close they are. So well done, bruh. What is this, a Hollywood movie? No, because this is better. As bad as it sounds, I was hoping for this to happen, but purely because you got so many people riding in her direction. I thought it'd be a little silly if somehow everyone didn't hit her. Speaking of the days when Hollywood used to be decent, this whole scene is really nicely put together too, with the close-up shot of the cannons firing and then hitting them down below. So good! Sounds weird to write, but it almost hurts me to see him like this. He's so brave to fly in to help her and then protected her that whole time.
ちゃんと学んだのよ。諦めの悪さなら。
Two wins yet again. Firstly, that physical resolve plastered on her face, even when mixed with sadness and pain here. But also this statement I felt was lovely and needed a win because it's true. None of them have any quit in them.
その鳥はもうダメだ。急がねえと反乱がひどくなる一方だぞ。早く。
Oh, so damn good. Right away, the hairs are standing on her neck, as it were. Usopp wouldn't say something like that. I wonder if he's wearing the white bandage. It's like I can feel her thoughts.
その鳥。
Actually, take another one there as well, because it's also due to him sounding like he doesn't know the bird or its name, when obviously, as shown here, they have quite the history. I mean, come on, man. Is that not the best thing ever? Fake Usopp proved it's him via the bandage, yet immediately her thought was it's not him. She just knew. I love that more than I can say.
2秒で蹴りはついた。1人1秒。
Real Usopp and lashes only lasting a few seconds during the fight, which makes it all the more impressive that Sanji won the day near enough alone. So cool!
仲間を少しでも怪しいと感じたらこの包帯を取って印を見せ合う。
Oh, Oda and this story. Both stupidly good. Should be ashamed of themselves how great it is. I mean, I can't believe they thought of a clever trick like that. I'm so in love. Gonna ask One Piece to marry me. Max wins for that, please.
あら。なんでバレたのかしらね。
How the voice actors changed their voices to match him in moments like this is still impressive to me. Nice fresh movements there from Sanji as he dodges the non-repeated attacks. Sanji totally kicking both sides' collective asses in order to be on the side of the ladies, right now Vivi most of all. Yet another new and unique type of ability. That is, unless someone tells me in the comments it's not, so in that case, another weird thing someone can do. Win. Classic instance, similar to Usopp, where you can see that Chopper is worried and yet he stands firm for the battle in order to do his job. Legend! This Duck is actually one of the best side characters in this entire saga to my mind. He sees she's in massive danger here and leaps into action to carry her away from it. genuinely very creepy, but kudos to the voice actor for matching his voice to the actions on screen. It hurts. Might sound silly, but it really does, because we've already seen how badly hurt he is. She's now mentioned it more than once, yet he's doing even more than simply running away with her. I'm worried. Oh my god, that's the worst that is. So damn close and he's gonna fall. It hurts. I don't even care. That's getting max wins. That beautiful music, him tearing up at being part of the team, but also feeling he'd do anything to protect her. That got to me. Take those wins. Take a fat win here for her finally, at long last, being so close to both the soldiers and the rebels. You can see here that she's in near tears, having to accept the losses happening right in front of her, knowing she can do nothing for them right here and now. Really plays into her character arc. They're getting max wins yet again. I swear, if something happens to this bird, I don't even know, but that was wonderful in how it was done and insanely painful at the same time. Giving him a win in his honour for carrying her as far as he did in spite of everything that's happened to him. Originally was going to include that with the last win, but no, that gets its own. Getting to see the first time they met one another. Makes me very happy that he and his sacrifice are treated with so much respect here, like she loves him. These frickin' ducks just get better and better!
よくやったな、カルー隊長。男だぜ。反乱はまだ止まるんだろ、ビビちゃん。
Sanji turning up and taking over the fight, and I'm freaking out from excitement now!
いや、うちの狙撃手の大切なゴーグルを返してもらおうか。
Back-to-back winsies! Firstly, you could tell the importance of Sanji being able to take this kick and match it with his own. That's a big deal versus this foe. But also, I loved hearing him praise Usopp and saying he wants his goggles back. Unexpected treat from someone like Sanji. Making this city feel so much larger by telling us that Zoro is fighting in a different district to, say, Sanji. Not running for your life on the spot.
Chopper!
Slipped by me, but Oda has done it again, splitting up the crew and having them do their own things. For me, it's so creative, especially when you make crew members meet up like here. Showing that because it's a solid example of the quality work of Chopper's voice actress, really sounding like she's coughing there. I agree, what the hell even is that? I mean, what else is that if it's not another unique Devil Fruit ability? Also though, take one for just being an all-round great and unique battle, really. Only Oda could come up with this, and maybe JoJo's mangaka. These two haven't had massive amounts of time together in the story yet, so it's nice to see, but also how much Chopper clearly cares as well, bless him. Not just making it a very simple attack, and instead giving it quite a bit of depth, as Chopper explains here. That! Because it was very much unexpected as a reaction. I dare say that with this statement, Oda was massively seeking to expand the lore surrounding devil fruits and their abilities here. Oh, Usopp. Never change, dude. Feel like one is deserved here as well for creating such a unique battle. Really, like I said before, the only thing that comes close in creativity to my mind is JoJo. A bunch of art style changes!
いつの間に移動したんだい
Chopper saved Usopp at the last second. This is not a drill!
それ行くよやれ行くよやれ行くことノルマノーマンノーマン
Let's be honest, if this was most other anime, they'd now be chatting for several minutes. Instead, after a brief, maybe 15 seconds, they're right back onto the attack. That dodge right there being shockingly smooth when slowed down for a weekly anime schedule, heck yes! First of all, even though they're enemies, I just adore how Oda made their abilities work together as a team so damn well, and she tries to hold Chopper in place for this attack. And secondly, that animation on him knocking the balls, that reminded me of something you'd see from like Haikyuu. He's so smart to use all three of his forms during this battle, big to attack, fast to move Usopp from danger, and small to dodge this attack. Let's continue to keep on going. Oh, the most adorable little attack!
どこだどこにいるあまさか
そうせっかく作ってくれた地下トンネル
Usopp is a unique one. He's weak like Nami and Vivi, but he can think outside the box when he's cornered, and of course the attack he does use can pack a punch when done right. He's great, basically. Chopper being so happy and likely very proud of Usopp right there, and Usopp's attack in general being sick.
Usopp! Nice! Thank you!
Chopper freaking out in the background and being so impressed by Usopp really making me think of how similar he is to Luffy sometimes. Not running on the whack-a-mole spot! Normally that wouldn't get a win, but him stopping for a quick rubber band attack gets it done.
8000人の部下がいる
I've said it before and I'll say it again, Chopper is the greatest for me! Putting what can only be described as a surprising amount of detail into this weapon of his.
またモグラ塚に入りやがって穴に気をつけろ今度は何をする気だ
Another great but small one I noted, in so many other anime, characters just spout what the enemy is doing. Like at the start here, but Usopp follows up by warning Chopper of the holes, which is great. Never pulling any punches, are they? I know the manga is a lot more gruesome and it makes sense why Toei would avoid that, but they do still give us scenes of blood and whatnot, which I always appreciate. This is the worst JoJo situation since the gator watching over the fake key to the solid cage.
考えるんだこいつに勝つ方法をランブル
How good that looked again for a weekly anime. Not an easy thing to do, as it must involve lots of extra frames. Also another one because he's using that special ball he used at Drum Kingdom, and in the third movie, if you followed me through that one, I think he used it in the movie. Such a good representation of what I said earlier about her being so torn that lives are being lost so close by, but that she has to rely on the main mission to help as many people as possible.
何が何でも生き延びろ。この中の誰がどうなってもだ。
Wanted to highlight that beautiful song playing there, fits the scene like a glove, and matches the feel of the country to me. That moment of remembering what everyone in the crew has given her, words of advice, taking on fights for her, protecting her life at all costs. Then you perfectly match the last one with her resolve to keep on moving forwards in spite of being so tired and in pain.
Chopper
Chopper surviving that massive attack and doing so in the cutest way physically possible. The best dodge ever from Usopp there. Those damage effects though. only makes me love Chopper more, because in spite of being in the heat of battle himself and being hit by hard attacks, he's still worried for Usopp.
ウソップが言ってたことじゃないか。今は自分にできることをやる。
What a great callback to something Usopp said to him a long time ago now. That reaction.
今だ。僕らから穴から離れて。言われなくったってそんな。
Such a clever way for them to win this battle, hopefully anyway. And again, for me, it's really only Oda and Araki who could come up with a battle like this with an ending like that.
来てる。まずいぞ。ランブルボールの効力はもう半分もない。ウソップ
！Seriously, man? What a twist! That felt like a logical end to the battle, but no, plot twist!
麦わらのルフィならもうとうに殺されちまったさ、ボスの手でな。
でたらめやだ。
What an end to an episode! That anger in Usopp's voice was perfection, and then it spills into the end shot there. Brilliant!
そいつが死ぬわけねえだろうが。あんな砂脇野郎に負けるわけねえ。
So much massive credit to the voice actor there for Usopp. Like, that was some powerful stuff. Sounding like he's near losing his mind at the thought of it. I thought they were close, but this is something else. Nakama.
だと思うがね。
あいつはいずれ海賊王になる男だ。
Two wins. Firstly, as always, One Piece is filled with nicely added extra details, such as Chopper doing this with his foot, in anger likely. But also Usopp using this as a reason why he must still be alive, because he truly believes his mission to become the king of the pirates and that nothing can stop him. Powerful stuff, man. Same as 2 wins back to show him clenching his teeth so hard in anger that he bleeds is just appreciated by me. Damage animation goodness! Some really unique shots right there. Jesus, remember what I said before about seriously dark moments in this one? This is one such moment. My god.
男じゃどうしても戦いを避けちゃならない時がある。
The fact that Usopp is still okay for now, but if you know me in this series, you'll know that this music playing is a big deal and gets to me right away. I mean, what a piece it is!
お前まだ。
仲間の夢を。
How can I talk about the darker moments and give praise for them and then ignore this? I mean, that's next level there.
死なねえ。あいつはいずれ海賊王になるから。
Again, the music for me makes the scene perfect, but like I said a while back, as Vivi mentioned, this crew has zero quit in them, and Usopp demonstrates that here in the best of ways.
もう一度だミスター。
そんなことさせるか。見せてやる。とっておきの変形点。
Chopper taking this moment to pull out all the stops to protect his friend as these two go onto the attack once again. I'm so nervous, bruh. The cutest, most massive new transformation! I know I keep heaping praise on it, but the fact that a weekly anime was, at this point, still going above and beyond the call of duty when it comes to animation is worthy of those wins. Oh my word, that was so good, and the damage was so gnarly too! Firstly, the move's unique name being a tribute to both of them is awesome. But also, that attack was brilliant in and of itself and had the best damage animation in the past likely half a dozen episodes easily. Hopefully that's now the end of the battle, won valiantly by these two legends. Hard fought for a solid couple episodes, and that final bomb blast certainly makes it appear that that is the case. In a way, pulling out a nice little JoJo-style end of battle notification of the winners.
馬をなんとか奪いたい。 この通りを抜けて中心街を通れば宮殿のある北ブロックへ入れる。
An honestly fantastic job is done here of making this look like a legit battlefield with explosions going off, swords clashing, men shouting and bullets flying overhead. Very impressive stuff.
俺たちだってまだ集結しきってない。他の町から援軍が来てからだって遅くないだろ。
Once more pouring realism into the scene by not making out as though literally 2 million men have gathered there for that fight and talking about bringing in reinforcements and such. This awesome looking scene as Vivi runs through the streets of the now nearly wrecked city.
この北ブロックを抜ければ宮殿しかないぞ。
お父様は今どこに？
それが
Oh, you're so getting a win for her, finally! At long last meeting up with members of the Royal Guard. Been so long! It's very brief, but right away One Piece continues to excel at making fresh battles with no overly repeated movements to sell its battles, like for example Dragon Ball Z and Super used to do all the time. Just as I whined when they first locked horns, as it were, their battle is still very much one of being even, and I love it. It really speaks to the power of Sanji. Man, he's a unique character, but the main win is for the continued fresh movements. Very quick, but it gets its own win. Cannot tell you how rare I find these kinds of battles in weekly anime to be. Between how awesome that was in terms of how it looked and how the scene played out with the silence and then pressure from the attack building, plus the effects of them being knocked back, it's max wins.
まずは世界一変な頭、そして世界一変な目。
Learning that he's able to change specific parts of his face and that it isn't just all or nothing.
90% 自分の顔だったな。
What a well-timed comedy moment to bust out suddenly during a heated battle.
スキャリ遊んでんじゃねえぞクソ野郎。
あんたにはさ血も涙もないのかしら。
Yes! Yes, that is what I've been praising on and off through the series, because almost no one really does this other than the best of the best anime. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, Attack on Titan, Jujutsu Kaisen, etc. But One Piece doing it early, boy!
お前のやりそうなことは。
さあ手を出してみろ。
人は心だろうが。
I'm so happy he's fighting someone like Sanji who has no problem fighting like this, but I am a bit worried should he change to Nami's face or something that he'd freeze up.
あんた行け。
A genuinely unexpected plot twist. I figured he'd suddenly insult him, not praise him. I'm shocked. Oh god, that was super close. Really close. Ah, damn man, it ended up happening anyway. Oda really fooled me once, twice, 3 times. Lady. That makes no sense, but I wrote it out so fluently I couldn't stop myself. They did so many unique looking shots of the palace. I knew I'd be giving a win for the time where she finally meets up with this dude, so take it now. Her lovely statement regarding what the true soul of Alabasta is, the people she met along the way living their lives in this country. They're the spirit, not the buildings and cities.
この宮殿を破壊して。
Oh yes, I had to show that. That is huge and plays right in with what she just said and what I just winned.
良いか、国とは人なのだ。
Him remembering the king's words before he disappeared and how they're essentially the same as those spoken by Vivi in such a lovely and emotional scene.
おっしゃる通りに。
Half the win is for him going along with the plan and the other half has to be for the soldiers earlier questioning whether or not to go along with it. Wouldn't have been as good if they're all right on board. Darth Weirdo, Mal Liao, Nick Wyndham, The Elementator Wars, Christopher Willis, Emmanuel Gonzalez, Fancy Turtle, Kepan, Minimasher, Marquez, Nazomi, Orekeeper, Otter A. Bodonisi, Steelers, The Epic Commander, Bird Without a Word, Brandon Creer, Brian Bayot, Cameron, Christian Tuasa, Commander Chris, Doggos for Life, Dragonstorm 35, Aaron Winters, Guru, I Am Here, James Tafoya, Your Edvinson, Kevin Elston, Cumfoik, Kylie Wub, Lisa Marie Timp, Luis Minito, Magnus, Mr. Mansu, Nightly Winter, Peter Milligan, Ruby Rose, Satakayari, Zion 44, Sean, The 100s, Tiger Lily Warrior, Sumi Bito, A Joker, Alexander Schwartz, Ali 50, Amadillo, Brainless Ben, Finn, Cecilia, Cedric, Cloud Garden, Dante Soul, Dark Lord Bloody Soul, Def the Kid 123, Devon, Dragon Defender, Esso, Garrett Vermish, Gibbs, Hoof to Loads Ritter, Israel Caldera, Jason Davies, John, Juffa 6263, Kelnock, Kevin Nelter, Kevink 102, Knuckle Duster, Kai 158, Kyle Jones, Laxor, Laxus, Liam Gagati, Lifty, Lionel Schultz, Marvin, Matthew Blansett, Michael Lewis, Modiverum, Monty, Mudini, Mr. Firecool, Natsu Dragneel, Nick Monaco, Nick Pell, 9028, Ollie the Mighty, Oliver Smiley Reacts, Oscar I. Lopez, Owen Halloran, Q Flash, Ryan DeVries, Sarcastic Truth, Snow, Stan, Storm 970, TRS, The Danish Muggle, Thrasher 340, Vernon Hogan, Will Sass, Willie Man,